So when we are talking about the design of water supply project or any water network, one of the most important data is nothing but the water demands. And when we're talking about hydraulic modeling, especially by using software like WaterGEMS, we need to feed our model with the calculated water demands. Okay, and as far as WaterGEMS goes, we have like two options that we can use to assign our calculated water demands into our model. So the first one is by using the load builder, and the other one is by using the demand center. So today we're going to see how to assign the calculated water demands in WaterGEMS software, of course by using the demand center feature in WaterGEMS. If that is something that you are interested with, just keep on watching. Okay, so this is my software. For now, I am using WaterGEMS Connect Edition. As you can see, I need to open a new project here. So let me go here and click a file. Then let me select new. And again, what I need to do is to import my network, which I prepared earlier. So let me go back here, select option, then select this model here. Let me select this and move it somewhere here. So what I need to do is to assign the demand, okay, to these junctions here. And as I said earlier, we have two options that we can use to assign the demand. So the first one is by using the demand center, which is this one, and also to use the other feature that we have in WaterGEMS, which is nothing but this load builder. For now, we are going to concentrate with this feature here, which is the demand center. Okay, the demand center. So by using the demand center, we need to assign the demands to these junctions here. So let me go back here and click this. You can see we have two options. So the first option is demand control center, and the other one is the unit demand control center. Let's start with the demand control center. If I click and I click yes, this is the window that we are going to have. And as you can see, for now it is blank. Okay, it has nothing, it is blank. So if I click this, you can see again we have two options. So the first one is by using the add demand, and the other one is by using the other one is nothing but the initialized demand for all the elements. Okay, so in a nutshell, we are using the add demand option when we want to assign the demand to a specific junction or specific junctions in our model. But we are using the other option, which is nothing but the initialized demands to all elements when we want to assign the demands to all of our junctions in our model. So let's proceed and see what we have here. So let me start with the add demands to a specific junctions, because I want to assign the demand to this junction here, which is J5. Okay, so let me select add demands. So as you can see, we have this little window here. So if I select this one and I click this junction, okay, and I click this junction and I click tick, you can see this is what we have. So let me see. So let me say at this junction here we have the demand of 0.0 let's say, okay, no, 0.05 liters per second. So this is the demand that we want to assign to J5. If I click OK, you can see this is our demand, okay, which is for now fixed because we are not using the EPS, right? So we have 0.5 liters per second at this junction. But what if we want to add demands to J2 and J3? Okay, so again, let me use the same option, the same feature. Okay, the same feature, and let me select add demands. Again, we have this little window here. So if I select J2 and J3, let's say in J4, but I want to remove the J3. So for now, so if you want to remove any of this junction is by using this minus option, this red minus option. If I activate this option, which is remove, and I click let's say this one, now it is removed. But when I activate the plus option and I click it back, then we added J3 to our options. So again, let me click this and remove J4. Okay, J4. So for now, we want to add demand only to J2 and J3. Okay, and let me click OK. But what I want to do is to assign a specific demand, let's say 0.4 liters per second to all of these to J2 and J3, and let me click OK. As soon as I click OK, you can see we have junction 2, junction 3, and junction 5. So junction 2 and 3, which is this one and this one, we have 0.4 on both options. So if you want to edit, you can just edit from here. But let's say I want to increase the display precision. So for now, we have only 2. What if I want to take it to 3? Okay, and I click OK, then and that's we have. Now, for now, the demand pattern here is fixed, but if you want to use extended period simulation, or if you have the demand that is varies with time, then this is the option that you can use. Okay, but for now we assume that our demand is fixed. So that is the first option. Okay, so that is the first option. Now we need to see how we can use the initialized demands for all elements. I want to remove all of this and remove both of them. I want to assign the demands to all of these junctions here. So instead of us selecting one by one, we can initialize the demands to all of our junctions here. So how can we do that? Let me show you. So from here, let me select initialize demand for all elements. Okay, so for J1, J2, J3, all of our junctions. So if I click this, you can see this is what we are having. But for now, the demand here is 0. Okay, 0. So there is no demand. So if I go here, so let's say J1, which is this one. Let's assume here the demand. If I double click, you can see the edit option is activated. So let's say the demand here is 0.6, and again for J2, which is this one, the demand here is 0.32, and again the other options, the other junction, let's say 0.5, and again this one here is 1, and this one, let's say 2.5 liters per second. So that is the last option when we are talking about the demand control center. So if I close this and I go back here to my model and I select this J5, you can see the demand here is this one here. So if I select this demand and I click these 3 dots, ellipses, you can see we have our 2.5, okay, which is again fixed. So if I close that one and I select J2, you can see the demands here. We have 0.32, just like what we added when we initialize the demand for all elements. That is how we can use the demand control center option to assign the demand in our model, of course in WaterGEMS. So let's see the other option, which is nothing but the unit control center. Okay, so let me assume that we have no demand, and now we want to use the unit demand control center. So if I click this and I click yes, you can see again we have the same window here. So again we have 2 options. So the first one is by using when I click this new, you can see we have the same options. So the first one is by using the add demand, which we can use to assign the demand to either a specific junction or specific junctions. And the other option, or the last option, is by using the initialize demands for all elements options, okay, which is this one. And this, as I said earlier, we use this option when we want to assign demands to all of our junctions. So let's start with the first option, which is the add demands. And we want to assign the demands to this junction, which is junction number 5. And we assume that we need to supply water to this area, which has 1,500 people. So by using the unit demand control center, and of course by using the add demands, you can see this window here is activated. So we want to assign demands to this area, which, as I said earlier, we have a population of 800 people. So if I click this and then I click this tick, a blue tick, this is what we are going to be provided with. As you can see, we have like 3 options here. So the first one is the unit demands, of course, which is count, and the other one is the unit load. Okay, so if I click this, you can see for now we have nothing. And the last option is nothing but the pattern, which for now is fixed. But if you were dealing with EPS or extended period simulation, possibly, and you will be in a good position to change this option. But for now, let's start dealing with this first option, which is the count. So for count, as I said earlier, we have a population of 800 people in this J5. So I'm going to type rather 800, and again, so if I click this ellipsis, we are going to be provided with yet another window. So for now, as I said, we have a population of 800 people in this area. So if I click this, you can see we have like three options. The first one is area, count, and the other one is population. So let me click this population, and of course let me give it a name like population, and of course the unit demand type here is population. And again, we need to specify, okay, the unit demand. And again, as you can see here, the population unit here is nothing but the capita. Of course, we have some other options, but for now, let's use this capita. So the unit demand here, you can get the unit demand from your design manual, but for now, I am using the Red Book, which is widely applicable in South Africa and some other African countries. So by using the Red Book design manual, you can see the demand here. Let's assume this is a public standpipe. The demand here is 25 liters per capita per day. Of course, we have some other options, but I'm going to select this one, 25 liters per capita per day. And of course, feel free to use any design manual that you are using in your country. So let me assume here. So as I said, the demand is 25 liters per capita per day. But what we need to do is to convert our demands into liters per capita per second. Okay, so liters per second. So we need to put here liters per second. Let me open this LibreCalc and select 25 liters. 24 times 60 times 60, of course, to convert it into seconds. You can see the demand here is 0.000289. Okay, 000289. So 0.000289. Okay, that's what we have. So let me click close as of now. And again, we need to specify now the unit load, the one that we calculated earlier. So let me select population, and again, let me click OK. So what WaterGEMS does is that it took the demand, which was this one, of course, in liters per second, and multiply it with 800 to get this value here. So for now, what I can do, let me increase the precision to at least 4. Okay, so this is what we have. Again, let me select this one. Oh, I need to remove this one. Let me select again, add demand to a specific junction. Okay, so let me select this, and let me select this J2, and of course click OK. But at this J2, let's assume here that we have a boarding school. Okay, we have a school. And again, we need to specify another unit load. We cannot use the population because we are talking about schools. Okay, so let me select this ellipsis or 3 dots, and again we need to create another unit demand. Okay, so from here, let me say like we have the population, but for now we have like a school demand. And for school, let me go back here to Red Book and select boarding school. I don't know if we have it. So this is boarding houses. Let me find the boarding school. Okay, so if you can see here, we have a school, and of course this one here is a building only, and also here we have the demand, which is 60 liters per students. Of course, this is per day. Of course, this is 60 liters per students per day. Okay, so from here, let me take this 60 and let me convert it to liters per second. Let me open my LibreCalc and again assign it to 60. Then this is our demand, which is 0.000 0.0694. Okay, let me go back here and select 0.0000694. 694. Okay, of course for now population unit is nothing but the students, so let me select students. Okay, and from here we need to click close. Okay, and again we need to specify the unit load that we created in this area here. So from here let me select the school and let me select okay. But one thing here that we missed is that I did not assign the number of students. So let's assume we have a population of like 1560. Okay, so this is our total population for this this school, which is located in this area. So if I click OK, you can see now WaterGEMS has calculated our demands here. And again, the other option, let me see if we can use, of course feel free to go and use the other option. Now let's see, let's say that in this J4 here we have like irrigation scheme. Okay, and for irrigation scheme we have like 500 acres rather. So let me go back here and select add demands, and again select let me select J4 and then let me click OK. And again you can see here the unit, we can say that like we have 500 acres, and again the unit load. For now we have the population and school, but we are talking about acres here. So let me go back and create another unit load for our scheme. Let me select the area, and again let me say this is scheme, and again we need to specify the demand per acre. Okay, of course you can even change the other units here like hectare, but for now I'm using the acres. Now the demand per acres, let me assume, again this is just an assumption, 0.01 liters per second per acre. Okay, and again for now I don't think if I have anything more. Let me click close. Remember we have 500 acres and we need to assign the unit load. So we need to assign this scheme as our unit load. Okay, and let me click OK. So what WaterGEMS does, it took 500 acres, multiplied with 0.1, which was nothing but the demand per 1 acre. So that is how we can use the unit demand control center, of course by using the add a demand feature. So let's see the final option, which is nothing but to initialize the demand to all of our junctions. This is what we are going to cover next, so let's proceed. Okay, so let me go back here and select the demand center and select the unit demand control center. Okay, and let me click yes, but for now remove everything. And again, I want to initialize the demand for all of our elements. Okay, instead of going one by one, let me initiate the demand for all of our elements. Okay, so this is what we are having. So let's say the J1, which is this one, let's assume here we have a population of 250 to 2500. So at J2, which is this one, let me assume that here we have a school which has a population of 890 students. And again, let me assume that at J3, which is this area, we have like irrigation scheme with total acres of 200 acres. Again, let me assume for J4, which is this one, let me assume here we have a population of like 3,000 rather. And again, lastly, let me assume that at this area here, which is J5, we have a guest house with almost 100 bedrooms. Now from here, because this one here is a population, let me select our unit demand. Of course, from here you can even go and create the other units demands, but for now, because I created earlier, then it's quite simple. So let me select here, this is the population. Okay, and this one here I don't remember, but I hope it was again a population, and again this one here was irrigation scheme. Of course, as I said, this option here you can even use it even when you have population density data. Okay, but for my case, I used the irrigation scheme because it's quite simple. Okay, and again, this one here was again a population of people. So let's say, actually, this one here was a boarding school, and again, this one here was the guest house. Okay, this is what we are having now, and this is the demand. So if I close this and I select this one, you can see we have our demands here. Okay, so for our case, this was a unity demands. You can see this is what we are having. Of course, this was a guest house and so on and so forth. Again, that is how we can assign the water demands or calculated water demands in WaterGEMS. Of course, for now we covered the demand center. Hopefully in the coming tutorials we might cover something related to shapefiles and GIS, and of course we might cover as well something about load builder possibly. So if you get anything out of this video, make sure that you click that like button, and again share it with your friends. And lastly, if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe. With that being said, thanks, and I'll see you in the next tutorial.